Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Whew, we got a show for y'all today, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So, as you guys know, the world around us is changing rather quickly, and things that never used to happen before are happening now. Obviously, you guys know Jimmy Kimmel's show got suspended indefinitely because of some comments that he made about the current administration, and you guys saw it, right? And everybody's reacting to it. You have people on the left that are reacting to it, people on the right, even some people on the right are like, whoa, wait a minute here. What's going on here? This is like, you're going against our First Amendment right here. Like, you have the ability to express your views, right? Freedom of speech. So you even have some people going, so it's a controversial topic, right? And people are weighing in left and right. Anyway, so this morning I was going through the internet and I came across an article here from Awful Announcing that caught me off guard. And it said, Keith Olbermann accuses Stephen A. Smith of prostituting himself to the conservatives. And I was like, what? Like, did I read that properly? It turns out I did, right? And there's a lot that we want to unpack here. But essentially, what Stephen A. Smith, and by the way, I've been saying this about, again, the fact that people even take anything that Stephen A. Smith has to say about politics really lets you know that the human race is really regressing. People think we're going forward. We're going backwards quickly. Like we're in a highway in reverse. Right? Like it's just crazy. And there's a lot of evidence for this. But I've always said that. And I always said that I believe that Stephen A. Smith is an absolute political grifter. And I can't believe that people take him seriously at all. So essentially what happened was this. Stephen A. Smith essentially went on his show. I think the Stephen A. Smith Straight Shooter show or whatever the hell it was. And he was reacting to Kimmel being not terminated, but basically being removed off the air after the government said that, you know, if you don't remove this guy off the air, this merger that you guys want to go through is just not going to happen. So Stephen A. Smith goes on his show, Straight Shooter, and he basically goes at Jimmy Kimmel and basically says, you know, where's the joke in what you're saying? I don't see the joke in what you're saying. And this is actually the comments that Keith Olbermann is reacting to. So for those of you who didn't hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say there, we want to play that for you now, and then we're going to come back and continue on with the show. Take a listen to what he had to say there.
I filled in for him and hosted the Jimmy Kimmel Live show in August of 2021, one of my proudest moments. I did an 18-minute monologue, a comedic monologue, opening monologue. I'm still proud of that to this very day. I love him as a person. I love him, his talent, the whole bit. That does not make what he said right. And in the times that we're living in, you have to be very, very careful about what you say when you open your mouth. And you can't associate a political group of people with a murderer. You can't do that. But that goes for both sides. President Trump shouldn't be coming out of his mouth talking about how, you know what, this was instigated and stirred on by the left. I love my man, Sean Hannity. I love a lot of people in our business and our industry on both sides of the aisle. None of them should be doing that. Nobody should be doing that. That's how I feel about it. And, you know, that individual, that was him. And it was a sick individual that murdered Charlie Kirk. And we should be focused on the fact that we don't need to be seeing anything like that in the streets of America, no matter where you are. We are a civilized society, okay? We're not supposed to conduct ourselves that way, and we're not supposed to be condoning any such thing. And the only thing that I would say as it pertains to Jimmy Kimmel was, where was the joke? Because you're a late night host. And obviously that has a comedic attachment to it. Where was the joke? Obviously it wasn't anything funny about that. And so we have to take that into consideration and make sure that we play our positions and understand what we can and cannot say. Because we have a responsibility when we have a camera and a microphone in front of us to articulate ourselves in an appropriate fashion. We can be dogged, we can be opinionated, we can provide perspectives, we could do a lot of things, but we could also be responsible while doing so. And that's the deal. So that's how I feel about it overall. And that's that. But I wish him nothing but the best because he's an incredible talent and an incredible teammate on ABC, and I'm always wishing him well.
So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say there. Those were his original comments. But it didn't stop there. Stephen A. Smith then decided to go back out there, and I want you guys to pay attention to this. He went out there and he now tried to clarify what he was saying, right? He tried to modify what he was saying and basically say, oh, no, I didn't really say this and I didn't say that. So what we want to do now is want to play what Stephen A. Smith had to say on Twitter. And this was posted just about a day or so ago. So take a listen to what he had to say here after he's clarifying his thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel. And then we're going to get into what Olbermann had to say about Stephen A. Smith. Take a listen to what Stephen A. Smith had to say there.
My only issue with Jimmy Kimmel and this whole brouhaha he finds himself inflamed with is not that, oh my God, you can't say a joke. I am incredibly alarmed by what appears to be our First Amendment rights being attacked. This is what I do for a living. I don't like that. But you know he's coming. And you know part of the reason why is to get back at everybody who tried to take him down. They didn't try to keep him out of the White House and that was it. They tried to throw him in prison. The man is coming. And you have to adjust accordingly. Nexstar has to adjust. All these broadcast corporations have to adjust. Madison Avenue has to adjust. Wall Street has to adjust. Corporate America has to adjust. China's had to adjust. Mexico has had to adjust. France, England, Germany, everybody has to make an adjustment. It's the real world. I don't like it. I'm alarmed by it. I'm scared of it. But I have to march forward. As do all of you. That's what I was saying about Jimmy Kimmel. That's what I'd say about Stephen Colbert or anybody else. Part of winning the game is knowing the game you're playing and adjusting accordingly to ensure that when all is said and done, you come out on top.
Fantastic. So you heard what he had to say there. Well, Olbermann caught a whiff of what he had to say, and he went at him on X. So we want to pull up his comments now. He said, just adding to what has been true for years, at Stephen A. Smith is a effing idiot. And now he smells money prostituting himself to and collaborating with the right wing. So that's what Keith Olbermann had to say there. What are my thoughts about what he said and everything? I think that what Olbermann is saying is something that a lot of people are saying. I think that the main reason Stephen A. Smith got platformed in the first place is because conservatives were the only one willing to give him a platform. This is what I truly believe. And if you listen to Stephen A. Smith speak about politics and social issues historically, he has always sounded like a Democrat. Now, he said he's not a registered Democrat. He's a registered independent. But if you listen to a lot of his rhetoric in the past, you will clearly know that he wasn't a conservative. The only conservative thing I've heard about him was that he is a capitalist. And you don't necessarily have to be a conservative to like money, right? But that's the only conservative thing I used to hear about him. To me personally, I think that Stephen A. Smith is a grifter. That's what I think. I think he's a grifter, and we're going to do some shows about it today where I explain why and prove to you why I think he's a grifter. But I think that's what's going on here. All right, I think that's what's going on here. And Olbermann is just essentially saying that this guy, man, is just up here saying, well, he's just selling his ass, man. He is just up here selling his ass. That's essentially what he's saying. So what I want to know from the audience is simply this. Number one, what do you think about what Stephen A. Smith had to say? Number two, what do you think about the points Olbermann brought up? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.